Hello everyone, hello Sandboxers, welcome back to another tutorial. Apologies, I'm a bit ill, I haven't been able to record anything earlier. It's just a virus, I think it's not COVID. Well, I tested and it wasn't, so I'm surviving, still surviving. And apologies for the delay on stuff. I'm having a lot of things with the real life and a bit delayed on tutorials and functionalities and things like that. Hopefully for us, our Discord server has incredible people, very helpful people that will support all of you in any of your needs. Okay, so this tutorial we're going to talk about tables more in detail. Okay, so remember what we've learned from before, that a group is a collection of properties. Okay, is a collection of properties here in parentheses. So this collection of properties, groups, can help define a table. Okay, oh, this is more difficult than what I thought. And they can help define one thing called C items, okay, which is short for compendium items. So these are basically things that you can drag and drop onto character sheets, and they add content to that character sheet, a weapon, an armor, and things like that. Things that can end up being a compendium, yeah? But we were looking at tables, and this tutorial we're going to keep looking at tables, yeah? So on our previous tutorial we talked about free tables. So they are tables that could generate rows and with information customized. Now we're going to have a look at the different options that you can have in a table, and a little bit at tables dependent on C items. So as I said, we have two types of tables. So we have free tables, so you can add rows, we saw that last day, and we can have C item dependent tables or non-free tables, yeah? So, and on our last tutorial we prepared one of these tables, which is a skills table, yeah, with a role and everything. Now, what options can we have in a table? So let's prepare the inventory table and we'll look at that, yeah? So for a table, first thing we need is a group. So in our groups, we're going to, I didn't full screen the thing. Apologies. Yeah, not my best day. So let's create a group that's going to be called object. Why? Because we want all the C items or rows dropped on here to be objects. So we create the new item, and this is going to be the object group as a key. And the properties of an object, we want this table to have as columns the name of the object, which for non-free tables is by default. They will always have that column if we choose. So also we want the weight, the number of items, and we want the total weight. Okay, so let's try to do that. So the collection of properties of the object group is going to be weight, and that's it. Yeah, so let's create that new property, which is called weight. It's going to be a simple numeric. The key is going to be weight. The tag is going to be weight. By default is going to be 1 kilo. 1 kilo. Okay. Editable and all that stuff. So we drag and drop weight to the object. Now, as this table, as we don't want the weight to be edited by the player, we want every object to have a fixed weight. Okay, so if I drag a rope or a torch onto my character sheet. I don't want the player to be able to edit the weight of those elements. Those items will have a fixed weight. So that's why we leave this constant. Yeah, kind of described this. We kind of explained this last time. Now, what do we need to do now? So we need to create this table. Tables are properties, remember that. So we create the inventory table and we select table on the data type. We select the key is going to be inventory, and that's it. We need a group. We just created the object. Oh yeah, better to use object group. I do this, I always try to add the type of element of the type of sandbox item in the name, because I create compendia and it can give us some problems. I'll explain that in a future tutorial, in the tutorial about compendia. Okay, so object group, here it comes. Now the column name the options editable. So I want this table to be edited by the player. It means that the player is going to be able to delete rows, so drop items. Okay, so we'll leave it checked. Has header, yeah, I want to see what each column is. The column name item. Now let's just change it by object. Is it free? No, we want to drop things onto it. Height, so we have free, small, med, tall. So if we leave it free, the table is going to occupy all the available space. We want to leave it like that. Okay, the other three, well, are even editable by CSS, so don't worry. Item names. So if I choose yes, the first column, which as I said is the object name, the item name is going to be displayed. If I choose no, is not going to be displayed, but we want to know what we're dragging and dropping there, and is a column that is going to display object on the header. So we leave it as item names. Yes, the third option, only names, we're going to look at that at the end of this tutorial. Show units. Yes, we want to know how many torches, how many gold bags we have, things like that. Yeah. What else? Show users. Not now. We'll change that later. Show activation, not now, because it's our first. Show totals. Yes, but not now. Let's create this table and I'll explain you. So we need to add the inventory table to the inventory panel. Okay, is everything fine here? 2/3, yes. So the inventory table is added, and now, as always, what we have to do is to rebuild the sheet. Yes, we reload just in case. Inventory, there you have it. We have our table. Okay, so as you remember, what we did was to set the following options. So as you can see, it has a header, the first column name is object, the height is free, the item names are shown because we can see the first column, and we have the units, which is this column here called num. Okay, as the group is the object group, we are also displaying the weight property. Now let's create an object, an AC item. This one is going to be by the way, a good way of organizing your C items compendia folder is to have different folders per group or something like that. So we're gonna have the skills folder with items there, yeah, and we're gonna add the gear folder that is going to contain our first C item. That is going to be torch. Okay, torch C item. That's it. Remember that Foundry comes with very cool icons that you can find on core data, icons, tools, equipment, whatever. Yeah, containers, consumables, all this stuff. Drinks, plants, potions. No, where is the torch? Can I find torch? No, there must be a torch somewhere. Tools, instruments, fishing, fastener, cooking, navigation, instruments. Nope. Hand. Nope. Where is my torch? Okay. Lighting, must be light or something. Equipment. Finger, hand, no. That's not commodities. No. Consumables. Whatever. Okay, I have my own stuff. I have my own stuff. So image, icons, and I'm gonna choose my own icon, which is here. All right, this is not important, but it's just a reminder. Okay, as always, for C item, torches last 1 hour, blah blah blah. We have the info tab that you could add your description. Remember, very cool stuff here that you can even drag and drop while editing this, the description. You can drag and drop stuff, items, sandbox items like athleticism. Okay, and once you do that, you see you have a clickable box. Imagine that the torch C item creates an effect called lighting. Okay, you could drag and drop that lighting here, and the player or you or the GM, you could click on it and it would open on another window, so you can always reference other stuff within the same description. Okay, groups, we need this thing to be an object, so we drag and drop the object group. Every time we drop an object, we'll talk about this in C items with more in detail, a group onto a C item, its properties are created on the attributes tab. Here you have it. We want the weight of the torch to be 2 kilos. Okay, and that's it. We have our first object item. So if we drag and drop it here, boom, there you have it. You see, you have torch object, the number is 1, so we can now edit to have three torches, yeah, and stuff like that. That's fine, huh? That's cool. Let's create another item. Let's duplicate this one, and we're gonna call this one rope. Okay, and we're gonna say it's 15 meters length, whatever. Yeah, the same group, we don't have to change anything. I'm going to change the icon just for us to identify them better, and the attributes, we're going to say that it weighs 5 kilos. Okay, and if I add it, boom, there you have it. Cool stuff on Sandbox. We added this in the last version. So if you click on a header, the table is going to get sorted by that header. So if I click on object, nothing happens because row is already sorted like that. But if I click on weight, boom, you see it sorts ascendantly by weight. Yeah, if I click on object, it's going to sort ascended by the name. Boom, it changes again. Okay, cool stuff, huh? Now everything fine, but it would be very, very cool if we could know in advance the total weight that the character is carrying. Don't you think? Let's do that. For that, we're gonna need the total weight per item, because if we have 3 torches, the total weight that we're carrying in torches is 3 multiplied by 2 is 6 kilos. Okay, so we need that. We need then a new property called total weight. This is going to be, the key is going to be T weight. Okay, it's also going to be a simple numeric. The tag is going to be total. Okay, total W, so we don't lose much width here. Default value. But what do we want? We want total weight to be the as we said, the auto calculation of the weight multiplied by the number. You can always refer, how can I do this so you can see it correctly? Can I use an item that is going to be a describer. Okay, so I can use sorry, I just need to show something big enough for you to understand. I should have done this earlier, but don't mind me. Font size equal 30px. Would this work? Have I done it correctly? Yes, fantastic. Okay, so what I want is to refer to the weight property. I want this autofield to be the following value. So I want weight multiplied by the number of items in the inventory. Okay, so how can I do that? How can I do that? So weight has a key of weight. Okay, and remember that to refer, we'll see this in role expressions, to reference another property, we use at plus weight. Okay, we'll look at this in role expressions, and we multiply it by multiplied by the number. Okay, so this is our formula. Why the hashtag? Why? Because when you use hashtag, you are referencing a property of a C item. If you use at, you're referencing a property of a character. Okay, we'll look at this in detail in the future. This is just a quick example for you to understand what things you can do with tables. So we copy that formula here. That's it. And what do we need? We need to add that property to our group. Okay, so the total weight is added here. Now we need then to rebuild and see what happens. There you have. Now you can see here that this thing is messed up. I mean, the total weight is not showing, but if I reload, as I just did, it just refreshes and recreates automatically. Now, as you can see, total weight is a value multiplied of num multiplied by weight, and it's correct. 5 per 1 is 5, 2 multiplied by 3 is 6. Perfect. So we have the total weight per item. Now the bad thing here, guys, is that I would like to know the total weight of every items combined. How can I do that? Easy enough. We need to create a totalizer. So first of all, we need our table to have a totalizer to show the totals on the bottom. How do we do that? Where in your table property, at the end you have a checkbox called show totals. If we click on it, this table is going to display at the bottom the totals of all the columns. Is that exactly true? No, because let's do the test. Let's test this. We'll rebuild this. You see? There it is, totals, but we don't see anything. Why? Because by default, only the properties that are selected as totalize, that are totalizables, are going to be shown. And we only want total weight to be that way. Where can we choose that? Where can we set that? So if we go to our total weight property, you see this option here, totalize. So if I click and check and make it totalizable, total weight, so this column, the end of this column, is going to show the total of this property. Let's try that. We rebuild, we open up again, and there it is. 5 kilos of rope plus 6 kilos of torches, 11 kilos of total weight. That is fantastic, isn't it? Okay, you can even refer to this number somewhere else. For example, we can create a new property called carried weight, no, encumbrance, yeah. And the encumbrance is going to be, the key is going to be encumbrance, and we're going to have a simple numeric, and is going to have an auto value. No, the max value is going to be, I don't know, strength multiplied by 5. Okay, so remember, so we are going to refer to strength, and this is a property of the character, not of a C item. So at what was the key for strength? str. Okay, so it's str multiplied by 5. Okay, so this is what we're going to use as the auto value, or the max value. The auto value, I want it to be this total value. I want to know it. So how can I do that? So that's very, very easy. So we need to use another notation. So this is going to be, so for you to reference a table total, the only thing you need to do is use the table key, which is inventory, if I'm not mistaken. Inventory table, the key is, you see here, inventory. Okay, dot totals dot the key of the column that we want, which is total weight, which the key was T weight, if I'm not mistaken. Exactly, T weight. Okay, so this is what we want to have as the maximum of this simple numeric property. Let's see if it works. We need to drag this one. We're going to drag it here where the gold and silver is. Yeah, I think this is multi-panel gold panel. Yeah, so let's add it there. Is encumbrance. Okay, fantastic. Now let's rebuild. There it is. As you can see, guys, the encumbrance is auto and it reads this value, the total value, 11. And the maximum is strength multiplied here, 8 by 5 is 40. Okay, awesome, huh? Incredible. So this is a very simple way that you can use to generate your own inventories. What else what other options can we set up in a table property that is not free? Okay, so we have other two. So show uses and show activation. So I think what we're going to do with these two, we're going to explain them later on with the C items in the next episode. But basically, if you click them, you're going to have extra columns. One is going to be called uses and the other one is going to be called activation. Yeah, so these are two extra columns. Transferable is our last option and is one that you're going to enjoy a lot. So let's click transferable. Let's leave it like this and let's rebuild. What is transferable? So as its name suggests, it means that you can transfer items from one table to other in different characters, not the same character. Okay, now you're going to see something very cool. So as we made it transferable, you see there's a little bag or coin purse far right of each of the rows of the items. Yeah, if I create a new character, so this one's going to be new PC2, and I assigned it the PC template, there you are, Now I can drag this little bag to this one, and a new menu displays. It tells me the maximum number of ropes that I can transfer, and here I can set the number of them that I want to transfer. So if I say 2, it's not going to let me because 1 is the maximum. I can just click on take all, and it's going to take all the elements. Yeah. So if I click 1 and save, you see I lost the rope on this character, and now it appears here. Isn't this awesome? So you could imagine all the possibilities. There are people creating templates called treasure chests, yeah, that the characters can open, and they can transfer things from those chests or those backpacks or things like that into their characters. It's absolutely amazing. So this is one of those cool options that you can have. Yeah. What else do we have for the table properties? So aside from I think we've seen everything. There's just this last little bit. Now imagine that you want, okay, imagine that you want a table that shows me what race is my character. Yeah, so we're going to create the race group. Oh, brave, no. That's different. Group, okay. Oh my, I'm still, my throat. Race group, okay. And we're not going to have any properties right now. It's just a race. Yeah. And we're going to create a table for that, which is going to be called the race table. Not rave again. What's wrong with my brain? Oh my gosh. This we select the table, we name it race, and we drop the race group here. Now for this table, I don't want any headers. Okay. Why? Because in the item names, I only want to show the names, only names. Okay, so when I drag and drop the elf, it shows only elf. Yeah, I don't want to be editable. I don't want the character the player to delete by mistake his own race, and that's it. Okay, that's the only thing I want, and I want it close to this race label here that I created on purpose. So where is that? Is that the personal panel? Yeah, personal info panel, race label, and we drag the race table. That's it, as easy as that. Let's rebuild, reload. There it is. So race, we have race, and we have this very long table cell here. Okay, so if I go now and create a new folder within my C items called races, and I create a new C item called elf, and for this C item to be a race, I need to add it the race group. There it is, the race group. No attributes. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to create a different one that's going to be dwarf. Okay, and that's it as an example. So right now, if I drag and drop elf, that's it. But what happens if I drag and drop dwarf? Well, we don't want that. Both of them are added, and I only want to be able to have one race. So what should we do? Let's remove dwarf. So it's easy. Is there somewhere that we can set up this so the table only allows me for one element? No, but we can set the group. Let me remove this. So if the group, in the details option, if the group is checked like unique, it means that only one C item of this group can be accepted in a character sheet, and if any other C item is added, the previous one is removed and this one overrides it. Okay, so let's rebuild and let's test if this works. Yeah, so I'm going to add the elf race, and as is unique, the group is unique. If I drag dwarf here, the table is going to check that the group is unique and that it can only have one row. Boom, you see? This is pretty handy to create draggable fields. Yeah, so you create them like this. You can have the race, the class, the archetypes, things like that that are very useful in many games. And this way you can create a table to be only a field. Yeah, it's pretty handy. So I think we've pretty much covered more or less everything for tables right now. Just one last bit. So what properties are displayed correctly within tables? So only simple numerics, simple text, labels, and text areas and checkboxes. The rest are not going to be displayed correctly. So if you put a radios are not yet prepared for this. They will in the near future, but radios will not show correctly. Okay, so have I set text areas? Yes, I have. So imagine in the skills, I want to show a text area. I want a little field there for the player to write down. For the player to write down some notes on the modifiers or whatever he wants. So let me create a new property called skill notes or something like that. And it is going to be a text area. Yeah, and the key is going to be skill notes. And there's going to be notes, the tag, okay? And that's it. So we need to add that new property to the skills group, so it can be represented in this table. So we add the text area, which was called skill notes. Here it is. But I want these notes to be editable. So the value is not completely fixed. So I uncheck constant, so the player or the GM can edit those values. So let's do that. We rebuild, we reload, and there you go. You see, every time you add a text area to a group, if that group is used on a table, that column of the text area is going to show little file icons. If you click them, boom, a new dialog panel appears, so you can edit what is inside this content. For that, you need to unlock, write down, so this skill has a modifier of -5 ongoing because of an illness. Okay, we unlock, we lock again, we save, and now if I click on it again, boom, it displays what I saved. Okay, so text areas on groups to be represented on tables are very useful to have editable fields, editable dialog panels to save stuff in rows like this. Very useful on PBTAs if you edit the description of a movement, checking something or choosing something from a movement. Very useful on Fate when you want to create aspects, but you have one column for the name and then the description of the aspect. You can or the mechanics of it, you can have it somewhere else. What else? Typical examples, yeah. Okay guys, 30 minutes here, so I think it's time to wrap it up. Thanks everyone for your support. Thanks for your patrons, and apologies for the late, for the slow updates and slow content. but life is this way. I hope I can be back to my usual frequency of updates and content soon. Thanks for all your support, and I hope you enjoy Sandbox. And any doubts and concerns, please ask them on Patreon or Discord. I will try to ask as soon as possible. See you soon.